Will America divide on the right to life issue? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. For the immediate future, the life issue, as in life of preborn children, is dividing in America into two different non-contiguous countries. This is especially relevant because at least two states seek to codify a near absolute legality for ending a pregnancy. As Sanctity of Life Month draws to a close, pro-life activists must realize that they have a very wide mission field. Before I describe why, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views, link to the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there. Especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which depicts a child in the womb with this caption, "Not your body, not your choice." Stick with me to the end because I'm going to drop a hint about why anyone would even think of making that kind of choice. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come up with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Now then, NBC News has the best interactive map showing the current state of the law on preborn life in the 50 states and the District of Columbia. They update their map regularly, and the last update came about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to leave a link in the description. 1, so you can follow along, and 2, so you can bookmark that map and check it regularly to see what happens moving forward. Don't let that map fool you. If any state allows a woman to end her pregnancy up to 2 and beyond 20 weeks, NBC considers that legal in that state. I'm going to guess that they make that judgment because most women who want to end a pregnancy do so at or near the beginning. But a few states do allow pregnancy ending on demand up to birth without any restriction. Those states are Alaska, Colorado, except for minors, New Jersey, except minors, New Mexico, Oregon, and Vermont. The District of Columbia similarly imposes no restrictions at all. Indiana, North Dakota, Ohio, Utah, and Wyoming have bans or restrictions now under judicial review, by which I mean someone has sued, a judge has blocked it, and the case is still active. Arizona, Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina have 6 to 20 week restrictions. Alabama, Arkansas, Idaho, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, West Virginia, and Wisconsin now ban the procedure outright, usually with the mother's health exception. Now of those, Tennessee has the tightest restrictions. The law in Tennessee makes it a felony ever to take the life of a preborn child. A doctor who does so to save the mother's life must prepare to offer that as a defense at trial. Now I'm sure prosecutors know that, and they won't press charges in such cases, but definitely check. All other states might ban the procedure after 20 weeks or at fetal viability or some such threshold. Bear this in mind when considering the latest proposals to change the law in 2 states. Those states are Minnesota and New York. Before I discuss them, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past 3 years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. New York's Assembly passed on second reading a measure to amend New York's Constitution to recognize a right to end a pregnancy, pretty much when the law allows it today. Everything that is a matter of law in New York today would be a part of New York's Constitution. That measure could, in theory, go before voters as soon as next fall. But New York legislators wanted to go before voters in 2024, in time for the presidential election. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden both carry New York, and no one has questioned the validity of either of these carryings. Minnesota proposes to go further, though as a matter of law only, not of its constitution. The Protect Reproductive Options, or PRO Act, would remove every existing restriction on ending a pregnancy. Minnesota now has a fetal viability standard, and under the PRO Act, that goes. CNAV contributor Bradley Dean lives in Minnesota, and in a recent article that he agreed to share with my site, he insists that the PRO Act does not have majority support of Minnesotans. The measure passed by a narrow margin, 69 to 65. Dean further suggested that no state has a majority who would support as far-reaching a bill as the PRO Act. And you might want to reconsider that, considering the anything goes regimens now in place in at least 4 states. But he could be right. Any one of those anything goes states could have passed that law despite what their people think, same as Dean says that Minnesota is doing now. The laws applicable to the District of Columbia are acts of Congress per Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17a, which reads, "The Congress shall have power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may become the seat of government." Now, let's look at the geographical distribution of these various states. Alaska and Hawaii are, of course, accessible to other states only by sea or air. Well, technically, Alaska is accessible over land, but it means driving along the roads of a foreign country, i.e. Canada. The NBC map defines 5 contiguous areas in the lower 48 where ending a preborn life is legal. They are the West Coast, the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states, an extended Midwest, and the states of Montana and Michigan. Those are both isolated. In contrast, 3 contiguous regions have laws that protect preborn life to some degree, subject to lawsuits in 5 states. The state of Wisconsin, oddly enough, makes one region. Legal states surround it, because legal states surround it on all sides. Most of the former Confederate South, with 6 states added and 2 subtracted, makes 1 region. The remaining region surrounds Montana and divides the West Coast apart from the middle legal region. Virginia will consider a 15-week ban in this year's General Assembly session. Mississippi went further than its Gestational Age Act that provoked the Dobbs versus Jackson women's case. Their laws now protect life from conception with the classic 3 exceptions. Acting Governor Kathy Hochul of New York makes much of protecting providers who end pregnancies for out-of-state patients. But the only such women who would come to New York for that kind of service would likely fly in. Minnesota, with banning or restricted states on its borders, presents a different case. Women could just drive in. In fact, the last clinic in North Dakota offering that kind of service relocated to Minnesota. So, where do we stand moving forward? We are at this pass because we have a radical change in the Supreme Court from 1973 to the present. That's because those who would have voted for the most radical anti-life presidents in recent years, Gore in 2000, Kerry in 2004, and Hillary Clinton in 2016, were never born. Barack Obama was the exception, but he changed the court just hardly at all. I mean, the ones he put in replaced those who voted pretty much the way they did. Trump, of course, made the last changes, and he flipped the court by 2 votes. But there's just one thing I think is lacking in American society. They could flip everything back in another generation. The rhetoric of anti-life, or as they like to call themselves, pro-choice politicians, shows a serious lack of love. And it's love they didn't get when they were kids. And those who vote for such people suffer a similar lack. Only someone with a lack of love could contemplate ending a pregnancy and with it a preborn life. Today, conservatives are having most of the children in the United States. We keep our babies, and conservative women tend to have more of them. But part of having children is loving them. Another part is for parents to love and respect one another. Those who receive love, especially at an early age, will give it back. That's the most important social reform anyone can propose, and it could save America from splitting in 2. Links in the description of the article, to the NBC Interactive Map, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my previous videos that I have done on this subject. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.